good morning to you. I hope you are thirsty on this Tuesday, right? Good morning to you. So we're getting wild talking about some special ales San Diego is brewing right now. Our favorite beer guy, founder and executive director, San Diego Beer News, Brandon Hernandez. Good to see you. It's been a minute since I've seen you, right?
It's been a little bit,
It's been a while.
Very memorable. I still remember the last time. It was great.
That's good. I made an impression. That's all that matters, right?
For sure.
Good morning to you. Okay, so let's, quite the display we have going on here.
Definitely.
What makes, I guess, an ale wild?
Well, as the name implies, it is an ale that is fermented with wild yeast.
Ooh.
We're talking about things like Brettanomyces, as well as microorganisms that you find kind of in the air,
Yeah.
and even bacteria, if you can believe it, but don't let that scare you off. It's really delicious, creates some really cool flavors you can't get otherwise.
So you can tell then right away by tasting.
Oh, you'll definitely know. Yeah.
You'll know there's a punch.
It's definitely different than your standard beer in that those are clean, crisp, have flavors of hops and
Right.
grain, but here you're going to get all the spicy, tart, and most of all, funky flavors that you
I
get.
love a good tart too. You know, I love the sours.
Yeah.
I guess that's what I love.
So a lot of sours we have are what we call quick sours.
Okay.
And they aren't made using this process, which it requires barrels and all the microorganisms I talked about. So you get a little more depth here. But yeah, it's like the next step if you're way into those. And they're really fun too.
Perfect. Quite the display as mentioned. What do we have here? Who do we bring?
Okay, well, we're going to start with Wild Barrel Brewing in San Marcos. As you might have guessed, making these kinds of barrel-aged wild beers was a big part of what they wanted to do from the very get-go. They hired a great blender from Pacific Northwest, Cascade Brewing, world-renowned operation, brought them down here, and now they're making beers that have a lot of fruits often, but in this case I wanted you to try something first that has no fruit. So it is called Aged Upon Oak Chardonnay Barrel-Aged Beer.
And check out this glass too.
I
love this glass,
It makes a statement just like the beer, but so you get a lot of the oak flavors in there. A lot of Chardonnay in there as well, and just everything that you're tasting is being produced by Brettanomyces lactobacillus.
I could drink a lot of that.
I could
really good.
Have you had wild ales before?
I have not.
Oh wow, you're the first person I think who's ever been won over.
I'm going to be honest. I'm not
a
big beer drinker. I tend to drink more Chardonnay. So that's probably exactly why I like that.
I love that reaction. They're going to love it too.
I'm
by the way,
honest.
Wild Barrel, if you're in Temecula, they have a tasting room as well. So.
All right, so who do we have next?
All right, Pure Project Brewing. Now, I'm going to take you to Vista, which is where they make this beer, but then beyond that to Belgium, where they make these things called spontaneously fermented beers. What they have are these things called cool ships, where big metal basins, basically, where they let everything in the air get to the beer and ferment it.
Nice.
And then transfer it to barrels and put it out. They don't have a cool ship, but they use a similar process to make this beer, which is called Electric Depths. It's a take on a Belgian lambic that has cherries and raspberries in it. So what you're going to get is now a more fruity experience.
I was just telling you, I love the color and the look. It's very summer. It's very refreshing, right?
Absolutely.
Let me taste.
So now you get all that funk. Now you get the fruit right up front, and then the back is just like, whoa, yeah.
Very tart.
Real tart.
I like
that, tannins in there as well, so a lot of fun.
Very yummy. Cheers to you. Okay, the second one we have, or the third one I should say, we have Helix, right?
Yes, and this might be run by the busiest man in all of San Diego beer. One guy who basically has a regular brewery making the pale ales, IPAs, things like that. Another building on the same campus called Sour Works, where he has just like barrels stacked to the gills within this place, and he's making all these wine barrel aged fruited sours as well as regular sours. He's using things like key lime, passion fruit, pineapple. This here is tangerine. Ooh. The beer is called Music to My Mouth. I think we're the first people to get to try it, or at least among them.
Oh, that is great too.
It is great. And you don't see a lot of citrus in these kinds of beers, but
that is really
kind
good.
of a reminder that it can be great.
I'm gonna take one more sip.
Yeah,
that's good. I love this one.
Oh man, Helix is getting a lot of good reactions.
And you said that was tangerine?
Tangerine.
Tangerine. Wow, you can really taste that.
Orange is a more flavorful cousin.
There we go. I love it. Okay, last but not least, we're talking California Wild Ales, Carlsbad Blueberry, right?
Right, and I love this because California Wild Ales, I wonder what they make.
Yeah.
Carlsbad Blueberry, I wonder what's in that. They are San Diego Sour House. They specialize in this kind of beer. They only make one other beer that's not a wild ale, and it's a lager they make for their OP tasting room. They're in Sorrento Valley. They make all this great beer. This is a beer that was aged for a year in oak barrels and then rested on top of blueberries, actually from the Carlsbad flower fields. So it's pretty cool.
You cannot get more local than that, right?
Not really, and they do a lot of that with their fruit sourcing, so you can always kind of count on it. But they say this is a blueberry explosion, and I'm excited to try that.
That is amazing.
A blueberry explosion.
That's a great one.
A lot of good tartness in there as well.
There is not one I did not like. I liked all of them.
I am so thrilled with this.
And I would probably do a third taste on all of them as well. That's really tasty. Wow. Anything else you want to add before I let you go?
Just that it's great to try a spectrum of beers. You know, San Diego Beer News, second anniversary beer from Helix Brewing called Just the Facts IPAs out there. Try it. It's really good.
Brandon, my friend, good to see you. So good catching up. And
Absolutely.
wow, tasty beers. I should probably drink beers more often. Folks, of course, for more on beer news, head to fox5sandiego.com. Click on that Scene on tab. Lots to enjoy right here. You're watching the Fox 5 Morning News. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.